We're going to keep the music on in the back. We got Missouri and Florida. I need Florida to absolutely lose. I'm also paying attention to that Washington-Oregon State game. What's going on, Florida State family, Seminole Nation, the 863 tribe? Tonight, you know what? I'm going to turn this music off, actually. Tonight was... There, turn the volume up a little bit. Tonight was a night that I didn't expect. There's a ton of emotions, I'm pretty sure, running through you all. There's a ton of emotions running through myself. The fact that we're done seeing Jordan Travis play here, I think, is a travesty. I really do. I wanted to see him one last time against Florida. I wanted to see him in the ACC championship game. I wanted to possibly see him definitely in his last bowl game, but maybe see him take FSU back to the playoff. And I can't say this enough. And I know everybody's going to have differences of opinions on what exactly and how good Jordan Travis is, as Missouri just took it to the crib on a touchdown. But let's not pay attention to that right now. We got to say this because this is real. I got to say this. This is real. Everybody might have differences of opinion on where Jordan Travis stands, where he is in the all-time echelon of FSU's quarterback. In my opinion, FSU was in its darkest times, and this guy was basically given the reins and saying, bring us out of it. And he did that. And for that alone, I believe Jordan Travis is on FSU's Mount Rushmore. You can agree, you can disagree. Maybe it's just the heat of the moment talking with the injury, possibly, but I'll stand by that. But Jordan Travis being asked to bring 3-win team to 5 wins to 10 wins to 11 regular season wins. I mean, just have a moment for Jordan. Seriously, just have a moment for 13. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know we haven't always thought that he's played the best, but no quarterback is perfect. I mean, hell, 2014 Jameis isn't anything to sneeze at or anything to brag about. But we all know 13 was special. The point is, guys have up and downs, play well sometimes, could play better at times. Jordan Travis deserves all his flowers. And it's a shame that it ended this way on the senior night against really no disrespect to Northern Alabama, but that's a nobody opponent. That's a nothing opponent. That's a nobody. As you see in the final score. For that to be his last for our last images to be his ankle, because CW decided they was going to play it 39 times. So for our last images of him to be his freaking ankle turned the opposite direction and him being carted off the field and going into Atlanta in an ambulance is absolutely a travesty. It's absolutely sad. It's absolutely makes me sick. I'm not even going to lie to you. But he deserves that Mount Rushmore spot. There's four faces on a Mount Rushmore, and we know the top 3. Jordan Travis deserves the 4th spot as far as FSU quarterback goes, and I don't really care who wants to debate me. And you can name the Danny Cannells and the Casey Weldons. You can name who you want to name. 13 gets my spot as far as quarterbacks goes. All prayers go up to Jordan Travis. I wish him a speedy recovery. Hope he gets an opportunity at the next level because I'm going to root for him regardless of where he goes and what round he goes. Whatever, I'm going to be rooting for 13 for the rest of my days because it shouldn't have ended. It should not have ended like this. And it's nobody's fault. Let me be clear. It's nobody's fault. So anybody that wants to blame the coaching, it's nobody's fault. Injuries happen. It's nobody's fault. It's just what happens in a game, in a collision sport that is football with 300, 250, 350-pound men collide with each other at full speed. These things happen. So I wanted to start this stream off by saying that he deserves all his flowers, all his recognitions. He deserves that now. And yeah, by all means, put your prayers up for him, speedy recovery, um, and all those good things. And with that said, the birth of the Tate Rodemaker era starts now. I'm not going to spend a lot of time dissecting this game, but I am going to talk a lot about the future, what we can expect against Florida and Louisville, and I'm about to go in. I'm about to go in on one coach in particular that I've never gone in on before, because for Tate Rodemaker to be successful, we have to make a change on that offensive line. But y'all already know, man. Before we get into all that, I had to start off the stream with all of that. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. It is your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV, and you are on the most interactive you're on the most interactive college football channel, in my opinion, on YouTube. But definitely for the Florida State fan, you come over here, your voice will be heard, your opinions will be read, no matter how terrible they are. And I'm sure we'll get some terrible ones tonight, and you might think mines are terrible. But you're over here on 863 Seminole TV with your host, the goddamn truth, POLK. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Where do we start? We have, I said a lot of stuff that I don't really want to repeat at halftime. What I do want to talk about, though, and we'll start with it because I just mentioned it. Alex Atkins, man. I want to say this the best way I can because I love him. But it's for Tate Rodemaker to be successful, 63's got to get on the bench. 63 couldn't block Northern Alabama. 63 hasn't really been able to block anybody all year. I told y'all about 63 in the spring, so this isn't some revelation for me. I knew what I saw. Listen, I'm not some freaking football guru. I do trust my eyes. If you've been watching me, for longer than a day, dare I say I'm fairly on point with my evaluations. Am I wrong? Of course, everybody's wrong. I was wrong about Warren Thompson. Who else was I? I was number 7, Jerry and Jones. Hey, salute. I bow my head to Jerry and Jones. You're the best DB on this team, and you've came a long way, my brother, and I got nothing but respect, and I forgive me for everything that I've said about you in the past. At the past, it was warranted, but I can come on here and say now you have done a complete 180. You are not the same player you were in the past. I'm not afraid or scared to say that or admit when I'm wrong. So I've been right and wrong about guys, right? I was hit the nail on the head with the Jordan Eubankses and the Colby Grosses of the world and stuff like that, right? So the point I'm making is, man, I saw in the spring that some 63, he's either playing out of position or he's not that good. I want to believe that he's playing out of position. He can play tackle at UTEP. He can't play tackle at Florida State. That's what I want to believe. I want to believe he's talented or has some ability. It just ain't at tackle at this level. And I don't know how much film you have to watch to continue to put 63 out there. Listen, and I know, and I don't know Northern Alabama's roster. So I don't know if they were still playing the starters in the third and the fourth quarter or if they had completely went to the depth chart. But the Armellas, bro, the second guys we have look better than Byers. You can't convince me that 63 is any better than Julian. Julian can do what 63 is doing because 63 ain't blocking nothing. I need Atkins to make a move. I need him to make a move. Johnny, you don't like the hat? Kick rocks. How about that? Because the hat ain't going nowhere. You'll dip before the hat dips. I promise you that. Anyway, 75 on CJ Campbell's 70-yard run. I want you to go watch 75 clear out the entire side. That's another guy that I've been telling y'all about since spring. And when we talk about gifted players, this offensive line doesn't have a lot of gifted players. It has a lot of veteran players that know how to play. There's not an elite talent level. There's an average talent level at best on that O-line in its totality from the starters. Keandre Jones is not one of those average at best guys. He has big time traits. He has tools. But if we keep him on the bench till the second half, his tools don't help us. They don't help us. I'm sorry, but Atkins gets some of this heat. I don't spare anybody. Y'all already know that. I give praise where praise is due, and I will definitely criticize those who need to be criticized. And Atkins has to make some moves. The rotations, I've been calling out the rotations since day one. I've been mad about the rotation since day one. And look, I can forgive having trouble with Clemson and not being able to block Clemson guys. I can forgive having trouble with an ACC caliber opponent and not being able to block those type of guys. I can't forgive Byers 63, the number one or number two offensive lineman in the transfer portal, not being able to block Northern freaking Alabama. And I promise you, this whole stream won't be a bunch of me yelling and ranting, but I have to get this off of my chest because if we are going to be, Jordan Travis is gone. I just spent the whole first part of this stream giving him his flowers. If we still have, if the playoffs is still the objective, something we have to start. We can't do the same things we've been doing. Florida's going to come right back and score. But we can't continue to do the same things we've been doing. Okay? We have to now change up some stuff. Oh, Florida just scored. Keandre Jones should have been the starter. I don't know why he's not the starter, but Keandre Jones should have been the starter. And if you look, I get it. I understand it. You promised these guys things out of the portal to get them on the team. I'm pretty sure you promised Byers the world. I'm pretty sure you did because I can't really. There's no way I can watch him continue to play week after week and justify keeping him on the field unless he was promised things to keep him. Byers can't go nowhere. He already transferred once. He'd have to sit out a year. Well, guess what? He's a redshirt junior. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to stay right here. Byers ain't going nowhere. Put his ass on the bench if he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. Put his ass on the bench. Or how about we bench Roddick or move Meach to Roddick's spot, put Keandre Jones as the starter. Like, there's the problem. Atkins, you have to figure. Alex Atkins, you have to figure it out. You didn't recruit them 5, 6, whatever offensive linemen you recruited a couple years ago to continue to put them on the bench. The development now needs to start showing itself. Tate Rodemaker is your quarterback. If you give him time, and now we'll get into some positivity, because let me tell you something about Tate. My take on Tate. A guy who was notorious for calling him spoiled rat meat. Y'all remember that, right? And then the Louisville game last year happened. Let's do it. If you give that guy time, with all due respect to 13, who I just gave his flowers and called put him on the Mount Rushmore, Tate got an arm that 13 don't got. Tate can make throws that 13 cannot make. And you saw the receivers have to adjust to how hard he throws the ball. Does he need to learn a little bit of touch? Absolutely. He can spin the football. Now he needs to have his confidence. He needs to understand the off. I think he understands the offense. I said it at halftime. I think Tate was put in a tough situation. Tate Rodemaker was put in a tough situation where I think everybody on the team is like reeling from 13 going down. So I didn't criticize like the first couple drives from him. When he settled down, I think he kind of saw it. And how many drops did Tate Rodemaker have? Because he was putting the ball on the money and guys were dropping it when they gave him time. But when 63 couldn't block for him, yeah, it looks a little off. It looks suspect. Block for him, because if you block for him, he's going to put the ball where it needs to be. He can make the throws. The offseason quarterback competition is going to be one to watch. Yes, I'm willing to concede A.J. Duffy is gone. Brock Glenn getting put in that game said everything that needed to be said about A.J. Duffy. I wanted to give A.J. Duffy a chance, but Brock Glenn proved that A.J. Duffy is hitting the portal. Your quarterback room next year will be Tate Rodemaker, Brock Glenn, and Luke Cromanhope. That will be your quarterback room because A.J. Duffy will be in the portal. I have nothing against A.J. Duffy. I want him to get a fair shot personally. But I think it's very telling that the freshman gets the nod over the redshirt. What is he, a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore? A.J. Duffy's been here, what, 2 or 3? I don't know. A.J. Duffy's an upperclassman compared to Brock Glenn, and A.J. Duffy was sitting on the bench at the end of that game while Brock Glenn was scoring touchdowns. And he's got an arm himself. Brock Glenn also has some tools. So there will be a quarterback competition, absolutely. But Tate Rodemaker can do what we've always thought he can do. I've always thought Tate had the arm to do these things. Is my hat crooked? I've always thought Tate had the arm to do these things. Just never thought he had the confidence. He shrunk in the moments in years past. So now it's going to be very interesting as we get prepared for Florida. They got to put a game plan that's tailor-made to Rodemaker, and I think they will. I personally think Tate Rodemaker fits the mold of what Mike actually wants in a quarterback. And I think he saw that with the way they didn't run Jordan Travis that much this year because they got more confident in his passing ability. Florida's not out of this game. I need Missouri to take care of business, but Florida's not out of this game. So our quarterback position is bright. And I've been talking about the quarterback position for a while because everybody is saying, oh, we need to hit the transfer. No, we're good. And I think you saw. Now, look, I'll be honest. That's Northern Alabama. I'm not saying, whatever. You can take that performance with a grain of salt, but I think you got to grade it on a curve because, again, of the situation in which Tate Rodemaker came in. If Tate Rodemaker had came in and it's 58-0 and lights up Northern Alabama, that means nothing to me. But to come in that situation, down 13-0, still can't believe at one point we were down 13-0 to this team, but we were. And to come into that moment, just seeing the guy's ankle snap, being asked to lead them out of a 13-0 hole, you got to give credit where credit is due. Tate Rodemaker deserves all of that. And I know the opponent, but the situation is something that you can't prepare for. Singleton, I got to talk about that young man, that young running back. FSU's loaded at running back. Singleton looked better than, I'm going to tell you this. I thought Singleton looked better than some of these other guys, man. I thought Keziah Holmes looked great today. But if you can't And y'all might not like this one, but you can't convince me that Rodney Hill's that much better than Singleton right now. You can't tell me that Rodney Hill's that much better than Singleton right now. And I like Rodney Hill. And I always have to put that disclaimer up there because if I give props to one guy, it's almost like I'm degrading another guy, and that's not the case at all. But you can't tell me there's a gap between Rodney Hill and Singleton right now. You can't tell me there's a big gap, if any. We're good. We are good next year for sure. And we can be good the remainder of this year. They're going to have to shore up the O-line. They're going to have to put a game plan in place for Tate Rodemaker to be successful. You can tell that Tate Rodemaker and Keon don't have much of a rapport with each other. I don't think he targeted Keon, but maybe twice. One on a broken play and the other one on the touchdown pass. They're going to have to, him and Keon got to get in the lab together this weekend and get ready for Florida, Louisville, and so on. Like that's got to happen, right? And Florida might pull this out. But if you get Tate ready, if you get the O-line stable, give up on Robert. You know, we talked about this Wednesday. I hate to say it like that, but Robert Scott, in a situation where Maurice Smith goes down, so now Darius Washington has to move to center for the remainder of the game. I don't think I saw 52 once against Northern Alabama of all teams. I didn't see 52 one time. Saw Bless Harris get in there, who, by the way, didn't start. Your starting tackles were Darius Washington and Jeremiah Byers. Take that. That is insane, thinking about what we really saw, well, what we were expecting preseason, where you thought your tackles might be a combination of Byers, Scott, and Harris. And Harris, when he was healthy, looked great. You had Darius Washington, who I love. I love his reliability. But you had Darius and Jeremiah out there. And then Big Mo goes down. And now you've got injured Bless Harris. That's the only – you got an injured Bless and a Jeremiah Byers. That's who they had to trot out there at tackle. We have to get the lines stable. And if that means you got to give Julian Armella a legit chance, you have to give him a legit look in the up. I get it. You want to put him out there when he's absolutely ready, but he can't be any worse than what we're doing right now. You have to give Julian Armella, you got to start fast tracking that. We can get the O-line stable, put a game plan obviously around the quarterback and his strengths. I think we're fine. Tate can spin the ball, but you got to block for him. I know I'm going on and on. I want to get to some comments because I know I am. I'm on one tonight. I know I am. And maybe I'm preaching the gospel tonight. Maybe I'll think, I don't know. I feel good about what I'm saying. I think this game exposed a lot, but I almost think it exposed a lot of positivity. And I know that might be weird to say. Did we look great at the beginning? No. And did we lose our guy? Yeah, we lost our guy. But this game showed me some stuff going forward for the remainder of this year. We'll go into the playoffs and we'll get blown out if we play like we played tonight. But there's things I see. There's nothing I see that can't be fixed. But Atkins, I don't know what it is, and I get it. He sees these kids every day, way more than I do. I don't know anything. I'm just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. Y'all already know the deal. But I don't know how they look in practice, but I know how they look on Saturdays. And you can't convince me on Saturdays that we got much worse on the bench than what I'm watching on that offensive line on Saturdays. I need Atkins to figure it out. You don't have Jordan Travis back there that can improvise with his legs. Now, Tate Rodemaker could do some things with his legs, but he's not Jordan Travis. You got to block for him. Tate Rodemaker is willing to stand in the pocket, and now he maybe need to be quicker with his reads. He may need to be more decisive in his decision-making process, but you can see him going through the motions, actually making the reads, actually looking for the open guy. We have to block that. Because if we can block that, he's going to put the ball where it needs to go. And he's going to put it on the money, and he's going to put it on there with some zip. NFL arm. I'm not saying he's an NFL quarterback. He's got an NFL arm. You can see it when he throws it. Let me get to the comments. Hit the like button, y'all. Like I said, I'm kind of on one tonight. But this was a very emotional Saturday. I don't know where to start, so we'll just start here. Kendrick, man, what's up? He says, you are telling no lies. This game will force all of them to grow up and show up. I hope so. I really do. Because Florida's not going to go down without a fight, especially if they lose this game. Now, they might pull out this game against Missouri, which would already make them bowl eligible. But if they lose this game, Florida's fighting for postseason play. And Florida needs those extra 15 practices or whatever it is. Absolutely, right? So they're coming out next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. They're coming. I know that's like the Dion phrase. I get all it. But Florida's coming to Florida's coming to the swamp to ruin our perfect season and to make sure they get in the postseason play. Tate better know how to take a hit because he's going to get blown up versus Florida. That's just that. Well, Florida's defense isn't great, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying, Joe. It's plain as day in the games. I agree. Speaking of that O-line, I agree. Facts. We learned a lot about the Noles tonight. Adversity. Who are we when we are? We've known that, though, for a while, No Power. This team doesn't fold against adversity. Now, we know that. They can take a punch. In terms of boxing or fighting terms, I would argue FSU doesn't even fight until they actually taste their own blood. Once they taste their own blood, then they fight back. That's been our calling card all year. Man, Florida about to pull this off, and they're pulling it off with a backup quarterback at that, man. Same as us. But they're doing it against a better opponent, obviously. Pretty No Girl says, amen. Atkins got to be blinder. No, sir, not me, says Atkins got to be blinder than Stevie Wonder if he thinks Byers is a starting tackle. Shout out to Atkins, man, but I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. FSU is draining the swamp. Hey, I'm all here for it. Absolutely. Let's go Oregon State. What's the score over there? I'm watching the Florida game right now, but what's the score over there? Hey, been telling y'all about 63 all year. Y'all listen to me sooner or later. Oh, Merch broke his collarbone? For one, I feel a lot better. Now, this other guy looks like he can run a little bit, though. Y'all know how we do with them guys. But the backups for Florida State and Florida coming in big right now. Washington is still up 2. Okay. Jones who? Jones who? You ain't talking about who I think you're talking about. I hope not. I hope you're not talking about who I think you're talking about. I hope you're not talking about Keandre and this whole slow-footed nonsense. Watch the games. Watch the tape. The line blocks better when he's in there. Go watch LSU when your boy, was it Wingo, was whooping our ass in the first half, and Jones gets in there in the second half and basically shuts that down. Watch the games. Don't tell me about slow-footed. Watch the games. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about, champ. Slow-footed, but he blocks better than anybody else on the entire O-line, basically. Pretty No Girl asks a question. What does the committee say about our starting QB being out? We won the game, and we covered the spread with the blocked field goal, and I think at the end, I think that actually covered the spread. But do they roll with it or not? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be if Washington can lose, all that's for naught. But there's going to definitely be a bunch of conversation about is FSU still a good, is FSU still a contender without their quarterback? That's going to be a conversation. And listen, it's a valid conversation, and I don't say that a lot about that committee, but I mean, there's FSU fans. Y'all have the same question, right? Are we still a valid contender with Tate Rodemaker? We don't know yet. I think with Tate Rodemaker can throw the ball, but there's other things that when you start facing higher caliber of opponents, there's some questions that Tate Rodemaker is going to have to answer. I don't know if he can answer it this year, but he's going to be thrust into the fire because every game for Florida State from now on counts. Florida counts. Louisville obviously counts. And if you can win those two games, you're in the playoff. And you're playing, who knows? You're playing Georgia, Michigan. You're playing somebody big time in the first round of the playoffs. So we're going to find out. I agree with this comment wholeheartedly. Time to earn that money the next two games. Absolutely. Win these next two games. Figure it out. Tony Kokars is who we say he is. Mike Norvell's who we think he is. Coach Atkins is who we've been saying he is. Figure it out offensively. Figure it out. I'm putting it on the offense. Because even in the first half of this game, a fake punt and some other stuff. Yeah, we were down 13-0. Whatever. Offense was getting 3 and outs. Like, what are we doing offensively against Northern Alabama that we can't go down the field and get points? I'm putting it on the offense. You think Atkins is just putting them out there without thinking about? No, I think Atkins is loyal to his. I think Atkins is loyal to his senior players. I think Atkins, and this is, I think this is fairly accurate if you look at Atkins and the way he's managed this offensive line for the most part. He trusts veteran players. He trusts guys with a lot of playing experience to just be in the right positions. And I'm asking him to break that and allow these young kids to show off their talent. Because what have I said from the beginning of the season? Again, if y'all have been watching me from Jump Street, y'all already know. I told you our starters aren't physically gifted. But all the backups, all the NFL caliber guys we got, the Armellas, the early, those guys are the physically gifted ones that maybe they're not ready to play right now. And he obviously trusts the seniors, the veteran players, to be in the right spot and all this stuff. Corey says we ain't dropping till we lose. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm assuming he's talking about Keandre. Does Verse even train to develop any moves to add to his repertoire? It seems he really doesn't know how to use different. I don't know. Again, I called Verse out finally because I feel like this was a game that you should have had 2-3 sacks. If you're Jarrett Verse, the first round pick or whatever, you should have had some. Patrick Payton had a hell of a game today. I don't know if y'all watched that, but Patrick Payton was everywhere. From batting balls down, tackles for losses. I don't know if he had a sack, but it doesn't even matter because he was everywhere. Shout out to Pat. Pat was doing his thing. Verse, I can't recall. And I think that's unfortunate. Most of our big running yeah, I know. Did Oregon State fold? Somebody said Oregon State folded. Of course they did. So Ronaldo allegedly was in a sling by the end of the game. So they say his arm was in a sling by the end of the game. So I don't know if he got hurt. I don't know what happened there with Ronaldo Green. Not a lot. Jones can block straight ahead, but if you put so how many times are we pulling? And are the pulls being successful with Roddick and Meach in there? All right, Florida's up 31-30. They just hit a field goal with a minute and 36 left. So we're about to see if Missouri can pull this out. Florida might get bowl eligible tonight. Tyler, man. Tyler. Good to see Tyler. I'm curious to know what Tyler thinks about tonight. So what's crazy is with JT in there, we call a run up the middle on the 2nd and 7 and then take a deep shot, which you miss, and now it's 3rd and long. Tyler, I said the same thing, and I've been saying that for I don't know how long. On 2nd and 7, um, or 2nd and long seems to be the times we want to take our shots, where we should be setting up for a manageable third. Mike Norvell likes to go for it on 4th down anyway, especially if he's past like the 40-yard line and up anyway. 2nd and 7 should be used to set up a third and manageable. You're probably gonna, depending on where we are on the field, but more times than not, he's gonna go for it on 4th down anyway. Set up a third and manageable. Take your shot on 3rd if you want. I feel like we don't. I feel like we don't adjust to the defensive looks, and that's a critical issue I have with our offensive play calling is we don't look at the defense and then say, okay, let's adjust our play call based on the look. We have a set plan. Third and whatever, we're taking this, or 2nd and 7 or whatever, we're gonna take a shot. Whether it's one-on-one, safety over the top, we're just gonna do it. And I don't know. We gotta get better in the situational awareness. He did get the block kick at the end. Shout out to Jared Verse. He did do that. You're absolutely right, Ryan. Washington won it. Oh man. I don't think Pat is quite ready for the NFL this year. I think he needs to get a little bit more muscle on him before he takes that leap. What they need to do is use Verse more. Forget the stunts. How about move Verse around the formation? Move Verse around the field. Stop playing him on one side of the field. How about mess the offense up where you're putting Verse on different sides of the ball? Like Florida State doesn't do that, and that's an issue. All right, Missouri. Ooh, Florida just let Missouri get the 1st down. And Missouri might come back and win this thing. I hope they do. Briggs played a lot tonight. 6 was on the field plenty tonight. Somebody said somebody was spamming comments. I didn't even see it. That might be a mod might have took care of it because I didn't see the spam. Oh yeah, somebody did come in here and take, but Tyler handled it. Tyler took care of it. Appreciate that, Tyler. The hell was this guy talking about? You took care of it. I didn't even see it because you took care of it. But I'm looking on this other on the other chat and I see it now. Yeah, he was spamming a bunch of BS. To hell with them. Matter of fact, you can block them. Let me see who that is first before I say block them. Oh yeah, you can block that guy. I know that guy. Get out of here. Pat need to get home too. Anytime you have to stop, but that's fine. But he's still affecting the play. I understand like we want to get sacks. I get that. But Pat's affecting the play way more than Verse is. I mean, if he's getting a bunch of bats, and some of those bats he's not getting stood up, is just, he's rushing the passer and he just has the awareness to get his hands up. And again, a guy's 6'5". But yeah, he definitely needs to come back. All right, 3rd and 17 for Missouri. They take a shot. They don't get it. And 4th and 17, man, and Florida might pull a victory off against the number 9 team in the country. I don't think Jordan Travis should have not been playing in this game. Nah, I think you can say that in hindsight. I don't think that's a fair criticism, Sandra, honestly. I mean, you can say that now. Oh, why did we play Jordan Travis against Northern Alabama? I mean, you're still playing for a potential Heisman invite. Like, there's still goals that these players want to reach. I don't think, I'm not questioning him playing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not questioning him playing. I get it, but yeah, like Corey said, man, injuries happen. That injury could happen next week against Florida. If he doesn't play this week, the injuries might happen next week against Florida, right? Like, injuries happen. Injuries happen. Like Jameis would have played, right? Like Jameis would have played tonight. He would have been out by the second quarter, maybe, but well, T, you can have more than 2 minutes, but I got you. Hold on. Let me send Terrence a link. I guess he want to come in and say his piece, and I respect it. I respect it. While I'm waiting on Terrence, how can we block it? Unless you're a mod, you can't. Tyler has a wrench. I took a lot of wrenches away. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. What? They just converted a 4th and 17. Let's go Missouri. Let's go Missouri. Just converted a 4th and 17. How the hell did they pull that off? But let me go back here. Yeah, Tyler has a wrench. Terrence has a wrench. I think Peter Shields has a wrench. I took a lot of wrenches away because people were blocking a bunch of people were abusing their wrench status. So Shar, you can't block nobody. It's okay. Let me send Terrence this link. I ain't even sent you the link yet, Terrence. Hold on. All right, T. Check your messages. I just sent it. Let's go, Mizzou. Am I behind on that? I might be behind on the game. Man, y'all, I got Hulu, so I might be behind. You've never seen Terrence? You've never seen Terrence on stream? Well, he's been on here plenty of times. Anyway, man. This game started off terribly. Like, I don't think if you were making a movie, Florida just giving up at the end because that guy was wide open. That was ridiculous. If I'm Missouri, I don't put it in the kicker's hand. I got 8 seconds. I take a shot. I could also see Missouri trying to line it up to get in the middle of the field, but they don't have any timeout, so they can't really do that. They're just gonna kick the field goal. I would call something that gives me one-on-one on the outside with those receivers that Missouri got. I would take a shot. I don't know if I put it in the kicker's hand, but let's go ahead and watch this kick together. And again, I might be behind y'all, so y'all might see the kick either make or break before I do. Terrence, by the way, I sent you the link, bro. But Terrence can't be on time for shit anyway, so I'm not surprised. Timeout, a field goal kicker. Is the kicker solid? Okay, I haven't watched much of Mizzou. Tim, don't spoil it. I guess he made it. I ain't seen it yet, but apparently he made it. So we'll see. Look at this poll. 58-13 is the score. We held them to 13. Yeah, no, we finished. Well, here's Terrence right here. Look like he on his phone. You on your phone? Can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. I don't know. Okay, I'll take you off. He'll be back, y'all. Can't hear him. Oh, he made it. Yeah, made it with 5 seconds left. No, he just made it. He just made it. So I mean, like, I thought AZ played well as we continue to talk about this game. I thought AZ played well. With Ronaldo Green going down, I thought AZ played well. Slim Shady Kane, excuse me, says prayers up to JT. I hate to see any good player go down. Thank you for that. Because I had to block a bunch of Miami fans on Twitter, but we all know Twitter is the cesspool of social media, which is one of the reasons why I like it. I'll be completely honest with you. But yeah, man, there was Miami players and Florida players like celebrating Jordan Travis, which is weird to celebrate it because we've already beaten you. So it's not like I don't understand why you'd celebrate it. But yeah, we had them guys celebrating some stuff. So I had to make some blocks. Make some blocks. I just did. I didn't understand. Didn't understand it. Randy, happy Thanksgiving to you, Randy. Thank you for that, and I hope you stay safe. I know you're doing your thing. So stay safe. That's actually a good question. Did anybody else see 23 today? I don't recall seeing a lot of 23 today. It's actually a good question. No, next week's going to be tough. Florida's going to be playing for their life. So next week's definitely going to be tough. And obviously, we got Tate Rodemaker going into the swamp. I mean, that's tough. That's tough for a Tate Rodemaker. Let's just call it what it is. That's going to be tough for Tate Rodemaker in a night game at the swamp. Now, granted, we saw what he did. Now that's Louisville, but Louisville's not an easy place to play at night either. Swamp's different, but we did see Tate Rodemaker bring FSU back and win at night at Louisville. But that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. All right, Terrence looked like he's back and he on the computer.
What's up, man?
What's up?
I don't know, man.
Hold on, give me a second. Is that Vanessa back there talking?
Yeah, I still got people at the house. So that's why I was saying 2 minutes.
Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
Damn.
Hey, did Auburn end up losing by New Mexico State? That's wild. That's crazy.
But they're a quality win for Alabama.
That's crazy.
They're gonna be a quality win for Alabama. Hey man, I'll be quick. Number one, I hope Jordan heals up and has a successful NFL career. I ain't gonna front. I'm not too excited about the prospects of how the season is gonna end.
What do you mean?
What's next? Like what are we supposed to? What are we gonna do now?
What are you asking? Like we finna get Tate Rodemaker ready to play these next 2 games and try to make playoffs? Like that's the answer.
I mean, that's what we're gonna do.
Like so what are we asking?
Have expectations changed?
No, not for me.
To you. Okay. You think he can step in?
If we have the coach that we think we have, if we have all these pieces that we say we have, then you make the adjustments to continue the season. Season doesn't just die because QB1 goes down, in my opinion.
So national championship still a goal? That's the expectation still.
Well, my expectation has always been make the playoffs. I've never had national championship expectations this year. That's all icing on the cake. ACC for me, winning the ACC was always the goal. Everything else,
we can do that.
Everything else, okay. So everything else is just icing on the cake, as far as I'm concerned.
We can. It's. I believe there's.
But I never bought into the national championship hype. I'm not saying we can't win it, but I'm saying.
Well,
me, it was
I
always
that at
ACC.
the beginning of the year.
I mean, I get it, right?
I said I don't see why we couldn't be in the playoffs. Like, there's no reason for us not to be in the playoffs. We're a better team than everybody that was on our schedule.
Yeah, I get it, but
this is the one thing that we said would kind of
derail that.
Yeah,
but
this would be.
But it
so
derailed
for me,
it.
My expectations change now.
To what?
The ACC is a great season.
Okay, so for
championship's a great season.
Okay, so we can still do that. And
that
that's
was,
still
the ACC for me. The ACC championship was we have to. We need.
I get
playoffs were what I wanted and how I felt we could definitely get there, and there was no reason we shouldn't. And I will say this though, now that game against Florida is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it was going to be tough regardless.
But now we getting Tate going into that atmosphere for his first, like not his first start, but like his first taste of that rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we probably end up in the playoffs. I just don't want to get there.
I mean, I can live with that. I know that you don't want that. Like, you don't want to go to the playoff and then get like TCU, right? And I don't think that'll happen. But even if you went to the playoff and kind of got like exposed, I mean, you could.
It's not really exposed. Like we don't have them.
But you can still go. Okay, they lost. They got to the playoff, and while losing their guy, like no one's. I don't think anybody's gonna look at that and go, "Ha ha, FSU." Like
they will. We know who will.
The rivals will. But I mean, anybody with some sense is like, wow, they still made a playoff because they still got 2 games to play before a playoff game. When Travis went down, and everybody said Travis was the offense, so to speak. So, hey, Mike Norvell gets paid $8 million for this situation right here. You get paid $8 million to get Tate Rodemaker ready to win the next 2 games. That's just how I feel. So for me, I'm still locked in. Like, let's do it.
Though.
No, it definitely hurts. I feel terrible for Travis. I feel terrible for the fan, but I feel terrible for myself. Like for that to be our last image of him fucking sucks. That fucking sucks.
Damn, man.
There's no way around it. That is terrible. For our last image of him to be on senior night. His ankle at a 90-degree angle, like that's terrible, bro.
Oh man, and like I told you, this was one of those games I figured we're gonna win the game. We're good. Like, so I didn't watch.
Yeah, we were obviously going to win that game.
I had the Friendsgiving thing going on. So, I was like, okay, I'm not really worried about missing any of this game. Getting the food ready. And then I got that notification. And
I was watching that shit live, like, oh my God. I was like.
I got a notification. I was like, nah, man.
I grabbed my bottle. And I started pouring up, dog. Like, I was like, oh my God.
What's up, Todd?
I was like,
What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody?
And then CW kept showing the replay, dog. I was like, stop showing that shit. His ankle was like this.
So I got the app where I can kind of go back and rewind it. So I went and looked. I'm like, yo, why do you keep showing this? Like, usually they don't even show that. But it's CW.
Yeah, so. Usually after injury like that, they'll show it once and be like, yeah, we're not going to show that anymore. CW just like, hey, y'all check this shit out.
I do like. Now, obviously, it's North Alabama, but the way the running game and the boys kind of was it Campbell or was it or what was
Campbell
what
broke a 70. Keziah Holmes had 2 touchdowns, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
one receiving. So
Singleton looked great, and like this is the first time we saw Singleton all year, the true freshman. He
yeah,
looked great. He
I
looked
was
great.
actually surprised by that. I was like,
I was like, okay, Singleton got
that's
a little
the
bit of
speed guy. Remember?
yeah. Singleton got a little bit of oomph to him.
I have this question. With this happening, does it affect?
Hey
our
Tyler,
season?
real quick, Tyler, I appreciate you tonight. Keep these people in check that want to talk about Jordan Travis and all that. So, like, look, I'm all for the rivalry, dog. Like, but come on, y'all didn't hear me get on here and talk about Emory Williams breaking his arm or anything like that. I gave Emory all the credit in the world for sticking it out there and putting this stuff on the line. So I appreciate you, Tyler. Keep doing the good work, Tyler. That's why you still got a wrench. So keep blocking.
Freaking bum.
Don't even put them in timeout. If they saying stuff like that, just block them, bro. I don't want them over here. But go ahead, T.
Nah, man. I just, I feel like they ran the ball well, man, like they should have. Even though down 13-0 in the first quarter is like what the hell, but they.
I'm gonna ask you the tough question, bro. I don't know if you heard me get on Atkins' ass. I know it's the first.
I didn't know. I didn't.
I'm tired of 63, dog. I don't know why we keep putting him out there.
Fuck. Get rid of, not get rid of him, but
I'm saying. But the point is, he's not going to. We 11 games into this, and he's not going to.
That's the thing about Atkins, though. Like he kind of rides with his guy.
I know he rides. Okay, but bro, Armella's his guy.
Is he?
Armella is more of his guy than Byers is. Byers just transferred here. Armella was recruited, and I'm just saying, like, if we got Rodemaker, and I think if you give him time, I think Rodemaker can make all the throws, but you have to give him time. He can't improvise, I think, like JT could. 63 is not going to give him the time.
So this is my thing about us heading into the playoffs, like, and I fully expect us to make the playoffs. But I want to mention something about that in just a moment. We went from probably going into the playoffs with the best quarterback, possibly, maybe, or second best. Maybe Penix is better.
You think Washington's gonna make the playoff? I mean,
it's possible.
I think they got to play Oregon again.
Penix has been off the charts, man.
But that's fair. Penix probably beat number one.
I can see them beating.
I don't think your boy's bad, man.
Who?
Beck? I don't think Beck's a bad quarterback at all.
He wasn't better than Travis.
He's got better. Maybe not. I don't think Beck's a bad quarterback. But go ahead.
If I got to win a game, I want Travis over Beck.
Okay.
If I need a guy to win me a game, like we've seen Travis win games. As I'm going to take this game over and win. Have we seen Beck do that?
That's fair.
That's my reason behind that. So, we went from possibly going in with maybe the best or second best quarterback to clear cut, like an inexperienced, not completely inexperienced, but not the best quarterback, probably the worst quarterback out of the group.
Yeah, you can say that, right? The worst quarterback out of the group.
That's a big factor in going into the playoffs, and even. The reason why I wasn't worried about Louisville is because, hey, we got the better quarterback anyway. Like, and that's how I felt about most of the season, like against most of our opponents.
Well, here's the thing. I just watched TVD kind of drop dimes on Louisville. I'm okay. Again, as long as we can block, Tate Rodemaker will make the throws to beat Louisville. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah.
I think Tate Rodemaker is good enough to beat the next two opponents. The question is going to be when we get into the playoffs, is he good enough to win us a playoff game? I don't know. He can beat Florida, and he can beat Louisville.
Could he win us a national championship?
I'm not sure Jordan Travis could win us a natty. So Tate Rodemaker definitely has a massive question mark about that.
Believe that we were. I fully believe that we were going to win the national championship this year. Especially after we got past our road bumps after week 4, like that's the only thing that's been on my mind. National championship is where we should be at. And like I understand like our shortcomings and where we are, but we are who we are, and we're a second half team. Mike Norvell's the second half coach. Apparently, he makes great adjustments, comes out and does his job. The team does a job. They motivate each other within, especially on defense. We have good, solid leaders on the defensive side of the football.
Okay.
I'm froze?
No, you're back. You're back.
That's weird. But yeah, I feel like on defense we have leadership that steps up in the second half. I wish they stepped up the whole game, but in the second half we have leadership on the defensive side of the ball that makes plays and gets things done. And I think that's why we would have stood a chance in the playoffs. That's the reason why we stood a chance in the playoffs. So, I mean, at this point, yeah, we gotta figure out if we can figure out the O-line and give him some time. Hey, great. I'm a little heartbroken right now, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go drink some more.
Yeah, I think it's not an easy night when thankfully, like we know
North Alabama, bro.
So did you hear? I'm curious because I don't know if you listened to the beginning of the stream. Did you hear what I said about Jordan Travis?
I did. No, I just kind of hopped in like right when I was sitting there.
I basically gave him his flat. I said I don't care, and we can have our opinions, but he's on my Mount Rushmore Florida State quarterback. He's number 4 on that.
Yeah, easily.
He brought us from a place we've never been. I mean, not in my lifetime. Florida State's never been a 3-win team in my lifetime. Florida State's never been a 5-win team in my lifetime.
Nope.
And he brought us from that to we have 11 regular season wins right now, and we're on the way. So for me, you can't tell me anything. You can't tell me anything negative about Jordan Travis.
Yeah, at all. There's nothing negative to say. Definitely Mount Rushmore. Arguably, you can argue where you want to rank him in that top 4.
No, he's 4. I mean, he's 4, but
I think he doesn't have the opportunity to put the credentials behind me any higher than 4. So I get that. But he definitely did a lot for the program. That's one thing that when you talk about what he's done for the program, I don't think that would change where he ranks. If you want to consider that on where he ranks as far as quarterbacks and what they've done for the program, I put him above.
Hold on.
Wakey.
You don't think Tate can win the ACC, but you think Jake Plummer can win the ACC?
Come on, Zoe. Yeah,
come on, Zoe. Come on, let's have a real talk, bro. Let's have a real football conversation, bro. Come on now.
That's what you're saying.
Because that's what you're saying. FSU and Jake Plummer about that's what you're saying. Come on, stop that. Stop that. I ain't saying Tate Rodemaker the next Peyton Manning, but you can't sit here and tell me you don't think Tate can win the ACC, but you think Jake Plummer can win the ACC. Stop that trash, dog. Let's talk. Let's talk. Bro, Louisville don't do anything better than we do. So you can talk about what we do up front. We can talk about what Louisville do up front. We can talk about Louisville's alleged defense. I just watched TVD carve that defense up. Like, come on.
What are you saying right now, though?
I'm going to challenge that. I got to challenge that because that don't make any sense.
We won't be able to block Louisville.
Right, and he beat Louisville last year with a better quarterback. He beat Louisville last year with a better quarterback. Malik Cunningham was better than Jake Plummer. Like, no. We're not doing that. No. Tate Rodemaker.
I get
Tate Rodemaker can win the ACC.
But now we can't block Louisville.
Man, stop that. Stop that. Zoe, you are drunk. High, I don't know. Yeah, you own the sauce, bro. You are on one tonight. Stop that cap. Hold on, I gotta give Zoe deserves one of these.
Is he act like we can't keep Louisville under 30?
Stop. Zoe got to get one of these. Shut that up. I want to hear that shit. What Zoe got going on tonight?
I'm trying to see who we gave up 32 this year. We ain't gave up 30 to nobody.
Nobody.
Like,
They offense ain't like that. I don't know where he getting that from.
they better than LSU? Miss me with that shit.
He
Man, let me go
wilding right.
drink some more.
He wilding right now. He wilding.
I got some people still in my crib.
Zoe's
bro.
been known for some outlandish takes lately. I don't know what's going on with Zoe, but he's been having some outlandish takes lately.
Crack. Hey,
I'm
man,
not.
I'm take my guess right quick, man. I'm
do your thing, bro.
A little bit longer. I'll hit you back.
Bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoe, you tripping, bro. And I'm not even saying they're trash. I'm not even saying that, but they don't do anything that FSU can't counter. To say that Jake Plummer is better, it can win the ACC, but Tate Rodemaker can't, and FSU has an all-around better roster, I don't know what Zoe's got going on, bro. I don't know what he's got going on tonight. I don't know what Zoe's got going on. And they're right. They won't score 30. I don't get it. Y'all not trash, Cardinal Jet. Y'all not trash. Well, Pretty No Girl thinks you're trash. I don't think you're trash. I think Zoe might have said that to just stir everybody up. But if we want to, man, we can get to this FSU UF game because I think like I don't want to spend a bunch of time on Northern Alabama. Like the game happened, we won 58-13. So we did what we were supposed to do at the end of the day. So I'll keep it a beam. With you, insane. I'm not gonna go into the ACC championship thinking we just gonna run away with that thing. A valid conversation can be had as to whether Florida State, again, no Jordan Travis, Louisville for the most part has a solid defense, at least statistically. I think TVD kind of exposed some things defensively. If FSU can block Louisville, I think we'll be fine. So to say they don't have a chance is, maybe a little disingenuous, but to be like Tate Rodemaker's not good enough to win the ACC is a complete lie. You feel me? So you could make that case. If FSU was playing North Carolina, you could say, I don't think Tate Rodemaker is going to outduel Drake May. I'd be more inclined to sit back and go, man, you might have a point. North Carolina might have been the worst matchup for Florida State in the ACC championship. You mean tell me Tate Rodemaker and Drake May got to go head to head? Okay, fair enough. But when you say Jake Plummer, now you lose me. Now you lose me. You feel me? You lose me there. So, I think they got a chance, but no, Duffy's gone. I wouldn't say the first and only guy. We can revisit history. Now, I know I've been very critical of Jordan Travis early on, but I also said I thought Jordan Travis should start year one of Mike Norvell. Now, the reason behind it might not be with everybody. I thought Jordan Travis should have started year one of Mike Norvell because I thought Chuba Purdy was the future. I thought they had similar skill sets. You play Jordan Travis, you ease Chuba Purdy in there. The offense don't have to change. Bam. So I did call for Jordan Travis to start the day Mike Norvell got the job for obvious different reasons. With that being said, I hear you. I agree, Polk. I think needs to get buyers away from tackle. Not 100% right. Yeah, no Robert Scott, no Bless. Like, that's your ideal tackles. A healthy Scott and a healthy Harris, we're good, but we haven't had that all year. I think Byers and Keandre Jones would be a dynamic guard combination. But they want to put him out there at tackle, so whatever. Here we are. That's the one thing you can't say about Louisville. I agree in saying they have not played really any tougher. I mean, they played Notre Dame. Notre Dame's probably the toughest team they played, but they didn't have to play the Clemsons. They didn't have to play any of the top teams in the ACC this year. Though I don't know if you could consider Clemson a top team, but we do know Clemson's talented. They still have talent. Um, let's see. I got racing on because that's what came on after the Florida Missouri game. So let me change games. Let me change. I don't think there's any good since Colorado played Friday and they got demolished. I don't think there's any good games on here. Usually, I can go to a late Pac-12 game and have a decent game on, but I don't see anything on. There's New Mexico and Fresno. I'm not watching it. Well, I would watch it, but I'm not watching it now. Let's put the ACC huddle on. Let's do that. Let's do that. Florida State at Florida. It's Florida Hate Week. We're gonna officially start that. Look, I will. We will give our. I really don't want to go into position by position breakdown of this game. Like this game was so emotional. I can't give y'all a valid breakdown of position. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the way I was watching this game, when Jordan Travis first got hurt, I was just in a state of disbelief for a while. Then when I finally got back to actually like watching the game, FSU had a handle on it. So I don't want to do a position by position breakdown, and the things that we usually do. Again, it's no, but we Montre. What we will do, we will give players of the game, and I will give some helmet stickers out here. Jarian Jones is your defensive player of the game, easily. Jarian Jones is the defensive player of the game, and I'm gonna give the offensive player of the game to Tate Rodemaker because not a lot of guys come in that situation. I mean, Jordan Travis has been the heart and soul of Florida State, man, since Mike Norvell's. I know they brought the McKenzie Milton experiment happened, and I know all of that. But Jordan Travis has been the guy. Mike Norvell's never won a game with nobody other than Jordan Travis as his starter, like starting the game. We're going to see. It's going to be crazy. We're going to see if Mike Norvell can win a game with somebody other than Jordan Travis as his starting the game next week against Florida. Like, that's what we're about to find out because he ain't done that. Mike Norvell has not won a game with no one but Jordan Travis as his starter. That's wild. So I gotta give Tate Rodemaker gets offensive player of the game because to come in that situation and do what he did, and I think Tate Rodemaker can spin that rock. I'm gonna give him that. I think Keziah Holmes also has an argument, though. I do think Keziah Holmes has an argument, and then of course Jarian Jones gets the defensive player of the game. Zoe, the type of dude that to lose his ass in the casino, but win one hand of blackjack and act like he took the whole house to the cleaners. They getting on you, Zoe. See, you said that foolishness. They getting on you. Be careful. I don't limit the chat and what they say. You brought it on yourself, Zoe. Zoe, you my guy. You've been with me. There's like a handful of y'all that's been with me from the beginning. Tyler's one of them. Zoe's one of them. John Shields is one of them, believe it or not. He's a Miami fan. Shout out to Johnny. But he's been one of my earlier subscribers and been with me from the beginning. So, you my guys, though. But they on your ass. And I'm going to let Florida State fans get on your ass. Especially when you say foolishness. I don't think there's a situation where we go out like TCU. Unless Rodemaker has like a 4 or 5 pick game. Like, I get what you're trying to say. But nah. FSU's not going to get blown the fuck out. Well, can we lose? We can lose a game. We can lose a game by double digits, but it's not going to be – what did Georgia do last year? 50, 60? What? Ridiculous. No, it's not going to be nothing like that. Yeah, we play defense. Corey says, "Did you see the route that dude threw from the right? I'm telling you, the man can spin it. He can NFL arm. I'm not saying he's an NFL quarterback because there's still some stuff I think Tate Rodemaker needs to process information faster. That's what makes a great NFL quarterback. But his tools, the tool belt, it's got all the tools on it. Mike Norvell, Tony Tokars need to sit down, Alex Atkins, all three. You need to sit down this week and we need to figure out how to maximize that tool belt. He's got a tool belt with the tools on it. And I disagree with William, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Don't say that, Tyler. We're still in the mix. Until we lose a game, we're in the mix. But I get it. I get it. I get it. I think, and Mr. Wolf, I'll say this about that. And you're absolutely right. Like our receivers didn't do Tate any justice. Like if you go like hold on, box scores, right? Because we didn't go over the box scores, but I want to real quick. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Go. 58-13. FSU beats Northern Alabama. Brock Glenn, Tate Rodemaker, excuse me, not Brock Glenn, 13 for 23. How many of those 13 for 23 was dropped? Jaheim dropped one right here. How many of those were drops? Now, to the receivers, tight ends, I include as receivers, to their defense, they're catching a different ball. Tate throws the ball differently than Jordan. They got to, the same way, we got to adjust to Tate Rodemaker playing QB the way he plays. Yeah, the receivers got to adjust to the firepower that's coming up. Tate Rodemaker does have to learn some touch because on the tight windows, he's throwing it in there. I need him to throw it in there so it doesn't get picked off. There's a reason why Jordan Travis doesn't make those throws because his arm can't make those throws. Don't get on me about JT. I just gave JT his flowers, a whole bouquet of roses. Love him. We'll always love 13. But the facts are arm talent is completely different between the two. When Rodemaker throws that thing in there, he throws it, and that causes a few drops. He's got to put some touch on it. But he's attempting throws that Jordan Travis don't even attempt. And how do I know that? Because we've been crying all year for Jordan Travis to attempt those throws. So they did drop the ball for him, but there's a reason why, and I think we'll adjust to that as Tate Rodemaker continues to be the quarterback. They'll get used to catching his type of football, is what I'm saying. Panama says, I like our defense against anybody. They really only moved the ball downfield on our defense one time tonight. The other time, it was a fake punt that got them down. Yeah. Are we more likely to jump Michigan to 3, stay right where we are, or get jumped? I think if you told me I don't care. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I don't care. But if you ask me, we'll stay where we are. It's more likely that we either stay where we are or get jumped. 50-50. 50-50. Or they better start blocking for him. Okay, every quarterback ain't scrambling out, like that's not what every quarterback does. How about block for the guy? How about that? Zoe, they are on you tonight. I love it. Zoe, you expect perfection? We are heading in the right direction. Have a shot to win the ACC, go to playoff, top 3 recruiting class. All just 2 years removed from losing to Jacksonville State. Have perspectives. Zoe, they on you, bro. I don't think that is feasible, Momo. I think they are talking heads on TV just talking BS. A 13-0 FSU doesn't miss the playoffs. And I'm going to tell you why they don't miss the playoffs. simple mathematics say they don't miss the playoffs. Oregon and Washington play each other again. Alabama and Georgia play each other. And Michigan and Ohio State play each other. In no situation does a 13-0 Florida State miss the playoffs. They can say what they want to say. It's all talking points. It's all to get you to listen and whatever. Ain't happening. It ain't happening, so don't entertain it. Hey, you just got double dog dared. Do it, Zoe. Zoe's the type of fan that is happy unless we win it 100-0. Get him. Keep getting Zoe. I'm here for it, Zoe. I'm sorry. You said that foolishness. I'm here for the slander. I'm here for all Zozuki slander tonight. I still think, and I had this conversation, but I like Glenn. And I think Glenn, like I know we love Chrome and Hope too. Glenn's not gonna go down without a fight. And with that being said, I still think Glenn's about a year away. I still think Glenn's a year away. I saw some plays in there against North Alabama that I'm like, okay, Glenn, you got to be a little bit better than that. Does Lincoln Riley stay at USC? Man, Lincoln probably should be, instead of Chip Kelly, they had a conversation about this on social media too. Instead of Chip Kelly being on the hot seat, or I think Chip Kelly got fired, if I'm not mistaken. USC, after having all this preseason hype, completely floundered this year. Yep, I come from an era where FSU was beating teams by 50 by halftime. That's not completely true. You're embellishing a little bit because even in Bobby Bowden's era, there was games where he struggled. Even in his heyday, I'm talking about what? What's Bobby Bowden's heyday? 88 to 99, 2000. About Bobby Bowden's heyday. He still had games where they struggled. Hell, in that time span, you only won 2 national championships, so they was losing games, though. Come on, don't do that. Dang, Briley, I ain't seen you all night. Where you been at? The biggest takeaway from tonight's game is 2024 started tonight, and we're going to know exactly where the QB room stands. Yes and no. For a quarterback situation, yes, the Tate Rodemaker era started tonight. Wholeheartedly agree with that. And I believe Tate Rodemaker will be your starter next year, by the way. His era started tonight. He's either going to lose or win that job in these next few games. I do agree with that. Because if he plays terrible against Florida and loses the ACC, then you're right. Then Zoe's right. If he does those things, then Zoe's right. And maybe we do need to hit the transfer portal if Tate Rodemaker loses to Florida, loses to Louisville. Right? So the Tate Rodemaker era started tonight. I don't want to say the 2024 season started tonight, though, because we have goals. And at a minimum, it's the ACC championship. FSU is 2 wins from booking a playoff spot. And anything can happen, right? So I don't want to say the 2024 season starts now. But the Tate Rodemaker era definitely started tonight. That's true, too. Y'all remember Cardell Jones? Hey, y'all remember Cardell Jones? I don't know if Tate Rodemaker's that. But Ice Cold Nose not lying. Y'all remember Cardell? Now, that team was also loaded. They had Zeke and some other guys. But I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying. Look, T2Y is my guy. I like both guys. I don't know if y'all watching me in the video. Coop did. I got to do some solo stuff with Coop. Coop's a good dude. Coop is a good dude, and T2Y is a good dude. Y'all just don't. As long as you understand it's the troll, you'll be all right. Jeff with a $20 dono. Love it. What a horrible night. Our thoughts and prayers to Jordan Travis. Absolutely. I just came online. I was busy watching other games after ours was over. Come together as a fan base. Oh, so check out the beginning of the video because we gave a tribute to Jordan Travis, or I gave a tribute to Jordan Travis, Jeff. But I appreciate you like always, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you so much for the donation, and I everything you say here, I echo 100%.
Jeff.
Cardell Jones was the one that basically said he wasn't there to be in school. He was the one that said that. Yes. I was watching Washington and Florida games, hoping for a little help. I agree. I was watching the same games, hoping for a little help, and we got zero because, of course, we got zero. But yeah, man, emotional night, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Emotional night. I still can't. I'll be honest with you. I still can't believe he's done. I still can't believe that I just watched the last Jordan Travis game at FSU. I still can't believe that. I'll be wholeheartedly 100% honest with you. I still can't believe I just watched the last Jordan Travis game, and that's the way it went. That freaking sucks. That freaking sucks, bro. I'm not even gonna cap. I hate it. You know, like I hate that. I hate that. But I'm going to allow this coaching staff to prove to me that they are who we think they are. Like again, y'all know how I do over here, bro. I don't mince my words. I don't pretend. I don't spit out the sunshine and the rainbows and the lollipop. Y'all know. Y'all know how I am. And Mike Norvell makes $8 million for a reason. And Tony Tokars is the new QB coach and potential, and I believe will be the future OC when Alex Atkins moves on for a reason. And they moved Alex Atkins to OC when Kenny Dillingham left for a reason. Like it's time to this is what you get paid $1 million, $8 million, six figures for. This is it. This is it. Get a game plan together that is going to put Tate Rodemaker in the best position to exceed. Point blank, period. Nothing else really needs to be said. If y'all and I and everybody that comes on here and says Mike Norvell's the next Bobby freaking Bowden, if he's that, then he'll figure out what to do with Tate Rodemaker and company. Either way, we're going to talk about it. And either way, I'm going to tell you the truth about it. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Zoe says, I was at most home games as a kid. I've watched all the greats. I was there in 2013, and look how long it took between both championships. No one's denying your no-bloodedness, Zoe. At least I'm not. But again, Zoe, I'm okay with opinions. You can have them. I respect most opinions unless they're just completely out of left field. But when you tell me Tate Rodemaker is not good enough to win the ACC, if you would have said that at the beginning of the year, I may have agreed with you. But the year's over. We know it's Jake Plummer versus Tate Rodemaker. You can't convince me that Tate Rodemaker can't beat Jake Plummer. That's where our issue falls at. There you go. I mean, that's how I feel. Like, let's do it. Let's earn our money, people. Let's earn our money. If Tate, excuse me, Mike Norvell, let's do it. I think Mike Norvell's a coach of the year candidate. Wholeheartedly believe that. This might solidify it the next 2 weeks. Let's do it, Mike. I'm with you. I'm riding with you. Let's do it. Do we lose Fuller at the end of the year? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Fuller gets a head coaching job. I wouldn't necessarily be mad. And to address Fuller with that comment, I don't dislike Fuller as much as I used to. I think Fuller is a solid coordinator. I do think there's some things that Fuller doesn't do that bothers me. I think when you have a guy like Jared Verse, you can utilize him so much and so much more ways. I don't know why we don't move Verse around to exploit mismatches and matchups, but we don't. Right? So some of the stuff that I say about Verse ain't all of his fault, because we don't do enough with him or Pat. There's some things that I don't like. I think Alan Fuller's a solid coordinator, though. If Tate is who the guys at War Chant build him to be, I'm not, before I read the rest of this comment, to Kasami's point, War Chant's been hyping Tate up for the last 2 years. I remember War Chant telling people that if Tate Rodemaker, if FSU's O line was whatever, which you can literally say about any quarterback, but okay, whatever. But if FSU's O line is whatever, Tate Rodemaker would be the starter. I remember hearing those things. Now that was when Tate Rodemaker was coming in the game throwing interceptions as soon as he came in the game. Tate Rodemaker's not the same quarterback he was then when they were making those comments. But to Kasami's point, War Chant's been hyping up Tate Rodemaker for a few years now. Palm Beach. How much of that was on the fake punt, though, Kusami? You got to put things into perspective and the context. How much of that is on the fake punt? So if you put that into perspective, you probably didn't even give up 100 yards rushing conventionally. There's a lot of different ways they can use him, and we don't do. There you go. Bradley already. There you go. 70 of that was on the fake punt. So Bradley's exactly saying what I just said. Y'all know I'll be behind in the comments sometimes. So bingo. How much of that 143 was on a fake punt? Take that away. FSU gave up 70 yards rushing. Take that any day of the week. Antonio Jenkins. Let's understand that every dynasty has a rise and fall. I've been a Seminole since the 90s. We have to wait and see where it goes. I love our team and the culture that has been established. I don't disagree with Antonio at all. I think Mike has definitely done a good job with that. I feel better. I said this before. I feel better talking to you all. Believe it or not, this is therapy. We won 58-13, so we eventually did what we were supposed to do. We did our business, but losing Jordan Travis freaking sucks. The way that game started off sucks. And the Gators and the Canes both lost this weekend, and it doesn't feel like that. It feels like FSU lost, all our rivals won, and it feels like we got blown out in the loss. That's how tonight feels. But talking to you all helps me That's one of the reasons why I started this channel, was to do this, was to talk to other Florida State fans. Because I remember going through the Willie Taggart's time saying, does anybody else feel the way I feel about watching this team? It's one of the reasons why I started this channel. So that's why we're here. Kusami says, I hate, for losing JT as much as the next man. It's obviously next man up, right? Obviously. But we got to look forward now. Absolutely. Tate Rodemaker era starts tonight, right now. It's already started. It's already started. This is Tate Rodemaker era from here on out. Point blank, period. My Knicks did win tonight. Also, the Gators lost their starting QB tonight against Missouri, from my understanding. Yeah, no, apparently he broke it. So I think Mertz is done for the year and JC's done for the year, which is wild to think about the fact that Florida lost their starting quarterback potentially for the rest of the season. FSU lost their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. That is, that evens the playing field a little bit. Because Mertz, believe it or not, Mertz was not playing bad for the Gators. Believe it or not. Mertz was not playing bad. Hold on 1 second, y'all. If Tate has stuck around as long as he has, I'm guessing Mike Norvell's promised him something. I think there's two folds of that. So let me ask you a question, Kusami, and I'm not like coming for you. I just want to ask you a question. I think we can help answer this situation you've brought up. If you were a coach at any other school, would you have offered Tate Rodemaker a spot on your roster? Given what we've seen up until this point? So obviously, I think this year, even in some of the reserve roles, Tate Rodemaker has been excellent. But before this year, would you have given Tate Rodemaker a scholarship as a transfer portal quarterback, given what you've seen up until this point? Casual put it more simplistic. Did Tate Rodemaker have any options up until this point? I don't know if he was promised anything. What options did he have? Would he have been – Tate Rodemaker would have been stupid to hit the portal with nobody – with the film he had put on to that point. Tate Rodemaker would have been silly to hit the portal. He didn't have good film. He didn't have options. I'm not giving you a scholarship with what I've seen you do in reserve time at FSU. You can say now that given Louisville last year and what he's done what he's done recently, you can make the case. But up until now, I don't know if Tate Rodemaker's had the options. So I don't know. I'm from Valdosta. Mike Norvell recruited him to Memphis as a 3-star and just bought him along to FSU. But to answer you, no. I would not have given a scholarship. Yeah. So as long as we're being honest, absolutely. Nobody would have given him an opportunity is the point. So why the hell would you leave Florida State University to go squander in the portal with the hopes of a team needing desperately a quarterback? Nah, you don't do that. The long game has played out right for Tate Rodemaker. He's learned. As a Florida State fan, I don't care how critical you've been of Tate, you have to admit you've seen the growth from Tate Rodemaker from where he was to where he is now. You've seen the growth. Right. He was always supposed to be the guy at Memphis, right? He was never supposed to be a Power 5 quarterback, and yet here he is with his opportunity. We'll see what happens. Jacob Coker didn't have film back when he transfers. That might be a solid argument, but let me ask you a question. Look at where he transferred to. So my question becomes: don't you think Nick Saban trusted Jimbo Fisher's quarterback evaluation at that point in Jimbo Fisher's career? He was on point with the QB evals. Christian Ponder, EJ Manuel. I mean, you talk about he was churning out first round quarterbacks. Don't you think Nick Saban said, "Hey, if Jimbo thinks Jacob Coker can play, and Jacob Coker is from Alabama at that, yeah, I'm Alabama. I've got all my position groups across the board are loaded. I just need a guy that can come in, not make mistakes, and win me a national championship. Yeah, I'll take Jacob Coker. He can do that, and I'll trust that the fact that he played with Jimbo Fisher. That's not a hard sell. I see what you're trying to say, but you see how quickly we just debunked all of that. Coker was definitely not a 5-star, though. We can look that up. I'll look it up right now. Coker was a 3-star. Coker played in the system that Jacob Coker played in. I think he's played like a. I'm gonna look it up though. But I'm almost 1,000% positive that Jacob Coker was not a 5-star prospect. Jacob Coker. You know how I know Jacob Coker wasn't a 5-star? I can't even bring up his 247 profile. You can't even bring up his 247 profile. Oh, no, here it is. FSUQ. No, they just have a bunch of articles on him. They don't even have his 247 profile. I know he wasn't a 5-star, but I'm trying to find it so I can verify. Oh, here it is. This might be his profile right here. Okay. 3-star, 88 overall, the 14th ranked pro player, the 13th ranked player in the state of Alabama. Nationally ranked, he was 525. Definitely wasn't a 5-star. It's okay, Jay. I just had to. Malik Henry. Coker was a 3-star. He wasn't even a 4-star. I just brought up his profile. I was able to find it. 525 ranked player in the entire country. Out of Mobile, Alabama. Class of 2011. 6'5", 210. Only had 3 offers coming out of high school, by the way. By the way, he only had 3 offers. He only had 3 legit offers from Mississippi State, Alabama, and Florida State. Those are the only offers he had. So Jacob was not that guy. We're talking about Jordan Travis right now in the ACC huddle. It freaking sucks, dog. That shit. I am at a loss. Can you imagine? And we never had to experience this, but you can imagine if we had to watch Jameis Winston get carted off the field. This is what we're feeling right now. I'll be honest with you. I've been an FSU fan for a long time, a sports fan in general. I can't think of a team of mine that had an injury of this impact. I can't think of that. And I'm trying to. And y'all know I'm a Knicks fan. But I can't think of a team that had an injury this significant. And the reason is the significance is that FSU's in the running to achieve greatness. They're still undefeated. They're number 4 in the country in a year where the playoff and the playoff is now a thing. I can't think of a time where we lost a guy that was so integral to that. You say Paul George, and if you were a fan of, I guess, the Pacers, then that hit you hard at that time. I get it. Colt McCoy, okay. I mean, but that injury happened in the national championship game, right? So it's not the same because that happens in the moment. FSU still has a chance to get all of it. FSU still has a chance to complete all of its goals, but they just lost arguably the engine, right, to the Ferrari. I can't think of it. I can't think of one. Derrick Rose, again, I can't think of, like, we're talking about guys that maybe got injured early in the season with still a bunch of FSU just lost the engine to the Ferrari with freaking 3 games left and a bunch more to play for. It's a very interesting situation, and I can't really think of it. Even then, didn't Tennessee had already lost some games by the time Hendon Hooker got hurt? You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall. I think Tennessee had already lost games when Hendon Hooker went down. It's not the same. Y'all feel me? Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. I hear a lot of BS about Washington jumping us, but I don't see it happening if we finish 12-0 and win the ACC. Well, you got to remember, we're already 11-0. So we still got to get Florida. That makes us 12-0. And then Louisville makes us 13-0. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, and I've been saying that. Only way we slide out is if we lose. Am I the only one that's tired of our reporters asking Mike a bunch of layup questions? I've been tired of that. I'm tired of that across the board, not just with Mike, but just journalism in general has gotten so vanilla because nobody's willing to ask the real questions. Everybody wants to just keep their access. Everybody wants to keep the fact that they have access to their coach or nobody wants to risk upsetting the apple cart. So let me ask vanilla questions so I don't risk anything. That's my issue with journalism in 2023. Washington been barely getting by for the past 2 months. I agree. Not to mention Oregon finna torch them. Oregon probably will get their get back in the Pac-12 championship. Damian says, "POLK, I'm hurt, man. To be in that stadium with the 2 oldest, their first game celebrating 2013, the team they fell in love with as Jits, bro, it sucked. It sucked sitting in my It sucked sitting right there. I was sitting right there, and I was just so deflated. So words can't describe it. That feeling, I'll be honest with you, that feeling sucked worse than the Jacksonville State loss. Believe it or not, that feeling sucked worse than losing to Jacksonville State. I don't know if anybody can agree with that or not, but that feeling I felt when I watched that man get hurt and they showed the replay and I saw his ankle look like a right angle. That feeling hurt worse than anything that happened at Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State was like, okay, I'm pissed off and I'm finna get on here and talk and rant. But we were already online, But that, I'll be honest with you, that made me, because I didn't know how we were going to respond to that. I thought we were already down 13-0. I thought that game could get super, like I was like, oh my God. Not only were we down 13-0 already, but Jordan freaking Travis just broke his ankle. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I didn't know what I thought. I thought to myself, I'd be honest with y'all. I said to myself, I'm not going. If this game goes how it might go, I'm not going live tonight. Obviously, I still did halftime and all of that because win, lose, or draw, y'all. I'm gonna be in here, but I was in the sunken place, so I'm with you, Damien. And that's not even from a football standpoint, but for Jordan Travis and everything he's been through, like you gotta love him, gotta love him. And it's crazy because I just had I didn't take a picture with him, but I was right there on the sideline. He was right in front of me. We took a picture. Y'all can see it if y'all haven't watched the experience video. Like Jordan Travis was standing right. Like it's crazy to see that picture, and then he gets carted off the next week. Like it's insane. It's insane. Crazy, crazy. I don't know if I've never experienced anything like that until today as a sports fan. That's just me though. Why do we constantly take deep shots and say, "Hey, man"? Colt McCoy's, and I think I spoke on Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford. Right. At this point in the season is the kicker because Francois did get hurt in the Bama opener, but we still had a whole season to play. Jordan Travis got hurt in the middle of a playoff run. Like that sucks. I'm way behind in the comments, y'all, so give me a chance. O'Callano says, I just want to say that Colorado transfer lineman is a weakness. He has botched so many blocks. Line play is better once they took him out. Colorado has a bunch of transfer linemen, if I'm not mistaken. Also, man, JT is trying to go pro. I know he wasn't going to be drafted high, but he might have not even been able to. Yeah, that sucks. Again, the whole totality of it sucks. JT was trying to go to the NFL, and I agree with Tyler, and I've been on the record saying this, so this ain't nothing new. Jordan Travis was a 5th-round pick, and that's the best case scenario, in my humble opinion. Now he's definitely going undrafted, unless if he heals up by the time the combine, the combine isn't until May or something like that. So I don't even know when the draft is. The draft is until like May or April, or I don't know. So the combine's around that area. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's a great comment by Briley. It feels like his story was incomplete. He was still writing the story. He was still writing it. We still had Florida up. We still had the ACC championship. He was still writing his legacy, man, and it's in an instant. In an instant, man. A perfect comment by Briley. I'll just leave that up for a second. Like he said, we didn't get to say goodbye, bro. Like even in a loss, we would have had that moment to say, man, Jordan, salute to you. Whether it was a loss in the ACC or even in the ACC, like we still would have had the bowl game. Like at the end of the day, whether Florida State was going to the playoffs or not, whether we lost to Florida or lost in the ACC championship, we were still going to be in a major bowl game, most likely the Orange Bowl, with an L, the Orange Bowl. With the win, obviously we're in the playoff. We would have had that moment to say, man, you gave it all. You brought us back to prominence. We got the number 3 recruiting class. And from you, we're going to take off and be what Florida State's been in the past. Salute to you. We don't get that. We don't get that moment anymore. Man, we don't get that moment, man. All you can do, you laugh to keep yourself from, I don't know, shedding a tear, man. We don't get that. We don't get that moment. I got to highlight this one too, but I'm gonna go back to Briley's one because I think Briley sums it up perfectly. I'm not gonna lie. I think Briley sums it up perfectly. I don't want to compare actual death, Terrell. I hear you. Kobe Bryant's death was shocking. I hear you. I don't want to compare that to Jordan Travis breaking his ankle. And I'm laughing about it, but you understand. I haven't listened to any of the interviews, Tyler, but it's Aslan. What the fuck? What do you expect? What do you expect? Stephen, there's again, y'all are comparing deaths, unless you're talking about an injury, but y'all are comparing deaths. Let's not do this. Yeah, Byers, you shut your mouth. How about that? Granted, now it was not Byers' fault on the injury, but still, you shut your mouth. Yeah, I agree with Zoe here too. Like FSU was in a position they were in this year because of him. Because of him. I mean, Keon Coleman's not here unless Jordan Travis is here. He made that abundantly clear. We don't have number 4 on offense unless Jordan Travis is your quarterback, right? So, this sucks for Keon. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for everybody. No, it's not dead in here tonight at all, man. You must be. We're 2 hours in. You joined in the chat late. We already done spun the block. We good. We just giving Jordan Travis his props. We giving him a moment, which I also did at the beginning of the stream. But it's not dead in here at all. We good. We are again. I already said it. Mike Norvell makes $8 million to do this. To get Tate Rodemaker ready to win the ACC, beat your rival Florida, go 2-0 for 2 years in a row against your rivals, win the state of Florida, now go win the ACC and get to the playoffs. That's what Mike Norvell gets paid for. It ain't dead in here at all. I already done set the table for FSU and how we're going to continue the season. But we are going to give Jordan Travis that moment, and But it's okay, Jerry. You good. I'm just letting you know. It ain't dead. We good. We good. I promise you, we good. Exactly. Like he was breaking records left and right. JT was breaking records. Like it's crazy because we talked about this at the beginning of the year. Like, where does Jordan? Was all said and done? Where's this guy gonna rank? And we just talked about it, and I'm on the record of saying like, if he can get us to the playoff, I think Jordan Travis has a case for, GOAT level status. And he doesn't get a chance to make that case. He doesn't get a chance to make that case. But now Tate Rodemaker gets a chance to write his own legacy. And that's the part I think as a Florida State fan, as much as we want to sit back and have that moment for Jordan and, however you feel, you must be excited to watch Tate Rodemaker start his legacy now. Tate Rodemaker is not getting the keys to a Pinto. He's not getting the keys to a Honda Civic. He's not getting the keys to an Accord or a Nissan Maxima or anything like that. Tate Rodemaker is getting the keys to that Ferrari. And Tate Rodemaker has a chance to begin his own legacy. And you have to be excited about that. If you're a Florida State fan, you should be excited by the fact that Tate Rodemaker now has a chance to start his own legacy. The Rodemaker era starts now. It started 5 hours ago. We're here now in the Tate Rodemaker era. He has a chance to make his name etched in stone. Jordan Travis's name is already etched in stone, and you can never take that away. But Tate Rodemaker has a chance to do something. Let's see what he does. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ride. I agree with that, Adam. Exactly. That's my point. If Tate does this, whew, where do we go? Imagine if Tate does this. Tate Rodemaker has at least 3 games. What if it's 4 or 5? Imagine if Tate Rodemaker gets us to that 5th game. Florida, Louisville, playoff, 4th game, excuse me. Florida, Louisville, one first round of playoff national championship. Tate Rodemaker is etching his name as we speak. It's time. If he can get us, you ain't got to win the natty, Tate. What if you can just get us there? What do you think the expectation is going to be next? Everybody that thinks FSU is going to fall off a cliff in 2024, you have no freaking idea. And a lot of it is going to be placed on the shoulders of Tate Rodemaker. A lot of it's going to be placed on those shoulders. Tate Rodemaker has a chance, man, and that's exciting to see. And you should be, as much as you hate what happened to 13, you should be ready for the Tate Rodemaker era and be excited for it. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, FSU had a successful season this year. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, FSU exceeded all expectations and had an exciting season this year. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. JT's number 1 all time in TD score. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's on the Mount Rushmore, dog. He's on the Mount Rushmore. I don't care what anybody got to say about that. He's on Mount Rushmore. And that's just numbers wise says he's on the Mount Rushmore. And then you go to Briley's comment here. He's on the Mount Rushmore because not only the numbers, but where he took us from. Willie Taggart wouldn't even play him to where we are now. Think about that. They said, let's say Tate wins the natty. Again, Tate's writing his own resume. We'll see what happens with that. Tate wins a national championship this year. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when that motherfucker comes up. Right now, I can't even entertain that conversation because I don't know how I feel about that right now. And Adam, that's what I'm stressing. Earn your $8 million. Earn your $8 million. That's what we're here for. Why are you so down on Tate, Zoe? I gotta hear the reasons. You can't keep glossing over Rodemaker like you don't watch these throws that he makes and just go, I'm skipping over that. Give me a reason. Give me a reason, bro. You gotta give me a reason. Or I'm gonna continue. Yeah, the comments gonna continue to eat you up, bro. You gotta give a reason for that. Jameis would have shattered every record in Florida State's history. We know that. If Jameis would have just played to his junior year, we already know that, right? Well, first of all, the recruiting class, and again, everybody talks about transfer portal, but the way they've utilized the portal has been a little bit ingenious in the sense that, like, you can talk about all the O-line. FSU has, waiting in the weeds, a bunch of self-made, self-developed O-linemen. Same thing at receiver. Same thing at almost every position. Like, the fall off isn't as big as people think it is. It's not. It's not as big as people think it is. JT's been playing since 2006, man. Finish for 13. That should be the goal, man. That should be the goal. Close out for 13. But we did 2 hours strong. I'm kind of still good to continue. If y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about, some questions. But if not, we'll cut it. We'll cut it short. And well, not really short because we did a whole 2 hours. This was in the much needed live stream. I feel like this is going to be a heavily viewed live stream because of the way FSU struggled early in this game. But man, there's so much emotions. Me personally, I never had a moment like this. Yeah, I've never had a moment like this. You're right, Jeremiah. We got to do the stickers. I already announced who the stickers are, but I'll put them on the helmet. But I've never had a moment like this where I watched a guy who was in a Heisman contention, though I don't think he was real legitimate. As long as FSU was undefeated, I think he was going to be in that Heisman conversation. The crazy thing about Jordan Travis, is I don't think he played his best game one time this year. Like I've watched that dude against. I've watched Jordan Travis carry a squad to a victory, and I've always asked for him to do it more and more. And I see that his body just couldn't maybe hold up to that weight. Yeah, that's the thing with me where I felt like this year was incomplete because I hadn't seen Jordan Travis have that game. Like he never had that game. The crazy thing about Jordan Travis was he was still in the Heisman conversation, and he never once had a Heisman moment game. Tate is just a guy. He's a jag. I don't. You know what's crazy? So I'll give you this. I don't necessarily disagree. Like I can't make that assumption right now. Like is Tate a jag? Maybe. Can I ask you a question? Because you haven't answered my question, so I want you. Can Tate throw the football? Is his arm just the guy? I understand there's more to playing quarterback than just your throwing ability, just your arm talent. There is more to playing quarterback than just your arm talent. A lot of things up here, how you process information, got all of that. I talk about that all the time. Is his arm talent jag arm talent? Because Jordan Travis has jag arm talent. That's Jeremiah Byers. POLK, the offense looks very different with Tate back there. I don't disagree. Partially because no real is in full control with Tate having less autonomy, but also because we seem to run more decisively between tackles. Is that because Brock can run? I'm not against Brock at all, bro. I'm not against Brock at all. But you got to answer my question. I got to he ain't dead. But we got to answer that question for me, though. Is his arm talent just the guy? That's a decent point. Hold on. This point right here. It's a decent point. It says, I think JT was used to just carrying the team, but this year he didn't need to carry the team. That's a decent point. That's a decent point in that first sentence right there. Jordan Travis, as much as I wanted to see him do certain things, you can argue that FSU didn't need to. They didn't need to win games for him to do that. That's a solid point. Don't know yet. Small sample size. My humble opinion, this not like I can't really throw Tate in there. I think this is my humble opinion. I think Quinn Edwards has the two best arms I believe I've watched this year. It's Quinn Edwards and your boy that played from Washington State, Cam Ward. Those are the two. It doesn't mean they're the two best quarterbacks. But the two best arms I've watched is Cameron Ward and Quinn Edwards. Those are two. I think they got the two livest arms in the country. Okay. I love the fact that you said that. I love the fact that you said it. See, Zoe, I got you. Y'all be saying stuff and y'all be setting yourself up for ass smacking. Did James Blackman play with a team? Let's say Tate Rodemaker and James Blackman are the same caliber of quarterback. By the way, James Blackman if I'm not mistaken, is in the NFL. So James Blackman has talent. Did James Blackman play with a talented team like this? Did James Blackman play with an O-line as good as this one? Even if you think the O-line is whatever, it's 10 times better than anything James Blackman ever played with. His receivers are 10 times better than anything James Blackman ever played with. Combine that with a stable of running backs. So be careful when you throw that out there. Because if I throw James Blackman on this team, is James Blackman just a guy? You can't call James Blackman a Jag because James Blackman is in the NFL. Jags don't make it to the NFL. So be careful what you say, Zoe. Somebody like me chop you up. A Jag is just a guy. Just a guy. That's what Jag stands for. No, I agree with Briley wholeheartedly. Tate's not ready yet. Excuse me. Brock Glenn is not ready yet. You've been wrong. I'm not done. Come on, Zoe. I need you to come back. Blackman ever play with any of the stuff that Tate Rodemaker got right now? But you expect that from a freshman. I think we're jumping the gun here. Come on, no, don't have the expectation for Brock Glenn. Don't jump the gun with Brock Glenn. Brock Glenn might be the future, but Tate Rodemaker is the answer right now. And even if Tate Rodemaker is the bridge, that's absolutely fine. But we have to slow our roll down a little bit. Slow it down just a tad. I think Cameron Ward's already transferred once. I would love to have him in town. And I'm against taking a transfer portal quarterback. But that kid, again, I think the two best arms are Quinn Ewers and Ward. Penix would be third in that list. I think Penix does have an arm himself. But he's already transferred once. I think he'd have to sit out a year to transfer again, if I'm not mistaken. So is venting. That's what it is. Zoe's saying all this outlandish stuff because he's grieving, y'all. And everybody, like Brother said, everybody deals with grief in a different way. The stages of grief. What? Anger, sadness. What are the stages of grief? What are there's like 5 stages of it. Yeah, Zoe's dealing with those stages right now. That's okay, Zoe. I still love you, Zoe. I promise you I do. You just dead wrong most of this stream, but I still love you. Still love you. Denial. There you go. Anger, sadness, denial. There's some other. There's acceptance. Briley's on point. Briley's got it. Briley's got it pinpoint. I don't know. I think we have. I mean, I'm excited for Tate. I am, and again, y'all know me. Before the Louisville game, I thought Y'all know what I called that man. Spoiled rat. I thought Tate was absolute trash and was never a D1 player. Here we are, over a year later. I'm excited to see what Tate can do. I always thought he could throw the ball. I just didn't. I never thought he had it. I never thought he had it here. He's gotten better here. I still don't think he's all the way. I still don't think he's all the way. I still think his confidence is a little. But I can't judge that in this game when you're put in the situation that you're put in. But I'm excited to see Tate in the swamp. Tate in the swamp is going to answer any and all questions we have. Because Tate has to be ready next week in Gainesville, prime time. He has to be ready. He has to be ready. I mean, there's a lot of guys that never had their numbers retired, bro. EJ Manuel will never have his number retired and never should. First round pick, though. Can't call it again. You can't call a Jag a first round pick, bro. I don't disagree. You talking about guys that I don't just Akeem Dent. I don't disagree with that. Ronaldo Green. I've been saying that. We'll see if they make the NFL though, because Jags don't make the NFL. Kevin Knowles is a Jag. So you still ain't answered the question, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I asked you a question about JT and not JT, but Tate and James Blackman if they had the same level of talent when they played and all of this stuff. But I ain't gonna bother about it with you. I'm gonna let you. Briley already pretty much put it. You're grieving. I get it. I'm gonna let it go. You weren't the only one, but I understand what you're saying. There were other people. Shout out to Zoe, man. 5 years from now, we won't. That's interesting. Okay, we want to go that route. We don't know if we'll remember Tate Rodemaker or not because this ain't stopped yet. But we will remember Caleb DeLoach. 90% is a easy number to put out there because you're talking about a roster of only 22 people get a start with the backups. Majority of the roster nobody knows. You only know the starters and the key backups. So saying 90% of the name 90% of the 2013 roster. You can't. You can name the starting 22 and the key backups. But if I ask you who was the backup center of 2013, you don't freaking know that. And don't lie and say you do unless you Google it because you're a liar and you know you don't. So you can say that about any roster. If I ask you who backed up Trey Jackson, you couldn't tell me. Yeah, I know. So you can pull that with everybody else, but you can't pull that with me. You already know who you're talking to. You 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 can do that with any roster. You can't name 90% of the 2013 roster, and you all know that what that roster did. There's 60 plus names in an entire college football roster. 22 don't make 90% or 30. Bro, you got to stop. Just guys don't make it. Now you got to stop. You're definitely drinking something tonight. I'm sorry. Just guys don't make the NFL. No, they don't. Okay. You feel me? You feel me? If that's the case, then anybody can make the league. And we already know that's not true. We know that's not true. It's all right. I'm going to let you have it, Zoe. I'm not going to do it with you no more. I'll let the chat continue to get back at you. I'll let the chat get with you. Oh, look, Miami lost 38-31. They just showed that on the screen. I actually was hoping a Miami fan came in the chat and started talking trash, but none of them did tonight. And kudos to them, because you can't talk trash to a team that is undefeated and you continue to lose games. Because I wanted to show this little clip, and I'm going to show you guys and any Miami fans that's just so happen to be watching. I got a new clip I made for y'all, so here you go. World premiere, the new Miami clip. Enjoy. One more time in case you missed it. This is the world premiere. Zoe's an all or nothing kind of guy. If you don't make it to Hall of Fame, you ain't got a gold jacket. You're absolutely a jag. Got it. Oh, CJ, you're on that Zoe energy. The 2013 team was dominant. Unfortunately, I think this one's a fraud. First of all, you should never compare 2013 to 99.9% of the college football teams that existed in history. 2013 is above a majority of them, with the exception of the 01 Canes, 2019 LSU. Like FSU's in that category, the 2013 team. Don't do that. Don't compare this team to that team. There is no comparison to that team. Stop that. That does not mean this team isn't great in its own right, but it's definitely not that. They're not a fraud. But if you hold them to that standard, then okay. I see how you get to the fraud stuff, but no. Third time's a charm? Got you. Say less. Somebody said third time's a charm, so I got to do it one more time. Oh, what's up? We got a Kane fan in here. Says, I'm a Kane fan, and I hate JT went down. I like how he overcame depression over the years and balled out for the last 2 years. Most of my friends were SFC fans. Prayers from the youth. Shout out to Florida born, Florida raised. I appreciate that. I think everybody in the chat appreciates that. Appreciate that. I do hold them to that. They don't have that same talent. No. You gotta, y'all. No. They don't have the same level of talent. Every player, every starting player, with the exception of Jose Matthias, was drafted on the 2013 team. They don't have that type of talent. There will not be one O lineman, in my opinion, drafted from this team. The only 2 wide receivers that get drafted, as of right now, Dustin Hill and some of these other guys, but as of right now, Johnny, Keon will definitely get drafted. Trey will get drafted. I'm not so sure Jordan now, especially with his Emory. No, they are not. No. They don't have the same level of caliber of talent. That 2013 secondary had Jalen Ramsey was a top 5 pick. PJ Williams, Ronald Darby, LaMarcus Joyner. No. Terrence Brooks, no. The only guy that's getting drafted out of that secondary, we'll see what happens with AZ. I think Ronaldo Green's a 4th round pick. Jerry Jones is a 3rd or 4th round pick. No, the talent's not even comparable between this team and the 13 team. I'm sorry. Thank you, Tyler. Again, if you've been a member of this channel, we already did this. We assessed the talent level at the beginning of the year. This is not those teams. This isn't the 2013 team. The fact that we have watched far more talented FSU teams drop games. 2012 comes to mind immediately. No, this is not those teams. This team lacks elite level talent across the board. Jordan Travis is a 5th round pick at best. You have one 1st round pick on this offense, and I believe that's Keon Coleman. He's the only 1st round pick. I don't think Johnny Wilson's a 1st round pick. Defensively, I don't know if you Jared Verse is supposed to be a 1st round pick. I'm not so sure. He hasn't played his way out of the 1st round. Defensively, I don't know if you have a 1st round pick. You got draftable players. I think Kalen DeLoach gets drafted. I think Bethune gets drafted. I think obviously Verse will get drafted. Fisk will get drafted. But where they go is up for debate. This team is not those teams. Thank you, Tyler. I agree with Insane here, too. Just because we don't win a natty don't mean we're a fraud, bro. Because if I would have told y'all at the beginning of the year FSU would be undefeated going to the Florida game, y'all would have called me crazy. There you go. How many blue chip? What's the blue chip percentage you think of 2013? Bet you it's crazy. Okay. Again, I'm gonna smack that ass. So if they are a team full of Jags, you should be happy that a team full of Jags is, what are we, 11-0 right now, Zoe? Come on. You're contradicting yourself is what you're really doing. I think 4th round pick is pushing it. You definitely, I don't disagree. I don't, first of all, I said this before, I don't believe in luck in sports. I don't believe that is a thing. I think opportunity meets, what's the saying? I think hard work and opportunity meets and creates some stuff. I don't necessarily believe in luck. But what I will say to this comment is there's definitely things that need to go, the ball needs to bounce your way for you to stay undefeated. Unless you're 2019 LSU, unless you're 2013 Florida State. Those teams didn't need anything to bounce their way to stay undefeated because they were better than everything. That's how it's. That's what they're trying to say. We say we. Zo apparently we lost tonight. Insane says, "Hey Pope, tell that dude we 11-0 with a COVID class, 2 other classes that were ranked 18th and 20th." I like what insane spitting right there. We doing the most with inferior. We doing the most with a bunch of Jags, as y'all would say. We doing the most with a bunch of Jags. Right now, we got the number 3 class committed. What is Mike Norvell going to do with KJ Bolden, Charles Lester, Jamari Howard, Luke Cuomo-Holt, Cam Davis? God forbid we flip a Jeremiah Smith. Blount. Come on, man. You have to give this team respect because a bunch of lucky Jags. And if you want to take that verbatim and say that they are a bunch of Jags, then that means you think Mike Norvell must be one of the best coaches in the history of Florida State if he's doing all of this with a bunch of Jags. So give me that. Okay, so Zoe's saying that FSU did 2023 is full of a bunch of Jags. I won't even dispute you on that. So that means Mike Norvell a better coach than Jimbo Fisher? Where's Mike Norvell ranking the coaching hierarchy if he's doing all of this with a bunch of Jags? No, Zoe's an FSU fan. I'm not gonna let y'all do that to Zoe. Zoe's my guy. Yeah, and Zoe knows he's in a safe place. Zoe is allowed. He's in a safe place. He's allowed to express his opinion, even if I wholeheartedly disagree with it. I'm not afraid, scared to anybody that comes in here with the backwards opinion. I'm gonna get on you. Yeah, y'all should know that by now. He's in a safe space though, but he's an FSU fan. I won't take that away from Zoe. Patrick Payton verse, I might not debate that. I think Patrick Payton got a higher upside. Okay. I've been a fan since '89. This fan base started acting like Miami fans in the Taggart era. I don't disagree with that point right there. But before that, we didn't settle for just being undefeated. When you lose to Florida and Louisville, you will all be repeating everything I said tonight. Not necessarily. You lost Jordan Travis, so I mean it is what it is. We'll see what happens though. I think my problem is that you're counting the L's before they happen. I think most people will say like FSU just won 11 games. Again, Zoe, did you think we were going to win 11 regular season games in this year? Because most people didn't think so. I thought we would be 11-1. I'll tell you, my prediction was 11-1, and I thought we would have got that loss already out the way. And so theoretically we could still be 11-1 and fulfill my prediction. But I thought we'd be 11-1. We might go 12-0. Of course they did. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like. Now I will say this: I never once asked for Mike Norvell to be fired. If you've been with me since Jacksonville State, you know I never once asked for Mike Norvell to be fired. Not once. I called for Adams Fuller job plenty of times, but never once asked for Norvell to be fired. Well, with that said, you can't bring up Jacksonville State like no shit. Anybody loses to Jacksonville State, you're going to start going, wait a damn minute, right? So, of course, people were asking for his head. Not me, but there obviously were people saying like, yo, you can't lose to Jacksonville State. But here we are. If I told you it would take a loss to Jacksonville State to make a college football playoff, would you take that deal? Right. I feel like me and Tyler would be the same person that time. Like, of course, everybody was upset after the Jacksonville State. I was online. What was that? Hold on. I'm trying to look it up. That live stream was like 9 hours long because I live streamed that game and refused to go to bed afterwards. The Jacksonville State live stream was like 9 hours long. I'm going to look it up to give you the exact time of how long we were live that night. Remember, I was also in Hawaii at that time. So that Jacksonville State live stream went on for hours, I say. I'm trying to find it. Absolutely, we were going to be pissed off after that crap. Here it is, right here. 9 hours. I was on live for 9 hours, 1 minute, and 29 seconds. No hate, no shade. I tell all my friends all the time that JT is a beast. He fights hard and makes sure I'll get to it. My bro said that Rodemaker is a beast. At the end of the day, no. Okay. First of all, two different styles of quarterback. Okay. I don't know if Rodemaker's a beast. That remains to be seen. I think Rodemaker has arm talent. We'll see if he puts it all together and becomes a complete quarterback. And I know you're a Miami fan, and I appreciate the comment because, look, the Florida State fans, at the end of the day, you're a Miami fan, so you're blinded by orange and green shades. So if I ask you, you're going to tell me that Emory Williams is going to be the next great Miami quarterback. Whether that's true or not, it remains to be seen. But that's what you're going to say because you're a Miami fan. Florida State fans are going to say JT is a beast. Excuse me, not JT, but Rodemaker is the next great because their shades are garnet and gold. I don't know what Rodemaker is. I know he has the tools to be great. We'll see what he ends up being. But no, he's not JT. I hear you. But here's what I'll say, and so I understand what you're doing. Your comments are directed at the chat because y'all know where I stand on a lot of things. I don't flip-flop, right? I make a stance, and that's what my stance is. Now, when different information presents itself, I do change my opinion. I think that's what an intelligent person does. They don't stand fast. An idiot stands fast in the face of the wrong answer. An intelligent person goes, okay, there's new information. I'm going to change because here we go. But y'all know how I am. I understand what you're saying. I understand that the chat was bitching and moaning and complaining, but they had the right to. And even though I never asked for Norvell's job, they had the right to because FSU won 3 in 5 games, lost to Jacksonville State, started 0-4. They had the right to ask for his job, whether it was whatever, whether they was right or wrong. They had the right. They had the right to. At that moment, yes, everybody did sound like you. The problem is we're undefeated with 2 games left, 3 games left for sure, 2 games left in the season to get us to the playoff, and you're saying these things. That's the difference, though. We're going to hit the 3-hour mark. Y'all kept me on longer than I expected. Believe it, it's crazy that we've been undefeated, and this is by far the longest stream of the year. This is by far the longest live stream we've done this year as an instant reaction. Because we've been, Zoe might not say it, but because we've been handling teams all year. Let's see, Pitt was 2 hours and 30 minutes. Wake wasn't even 2 hours. Duke was 2 hours and 18. Syracuse wasn't even an hour and 30. I got off of Syracuse quick. Virginia Tech was an hour and 33. Clemson We beat Clemson. That was only an hour and 30 or an hour and 29 and 44 seconds. So an hour and 30. Boston College was an hour and 30. Southern Miss was about 2 hours. And so Southern Miss was the longest live stream up until now. And obviously, y'all know I did LSU from the desert. The instant reaction to LSU was only 40 minutes, obviously, because y'all know I was in the desert. But this is by far the longest live stream we've done. And a 58-13 win. But obviously, when your guy goes down the way he did, this is by far the longest live stream we've done all year. So shout out to you guys. Still 100 people in the chat. So please hit the like button. I should have at least 100 likes. Hit the like button, please. If you're new for the first time, go ahead and subscribe to your boy. And share the video, man. Let's get more people out here and subscribing to the 863 tribe. But this was a fun live stream. We had some real moments tonight, man. Real moments. Real moments tonight. That Jacksonville State loss might be the reason we win the whole thing. Zoe thought this bunch of Jags was going to go 11-1 and then lose to Clemson in the ACC championship game. Best Jags ever. If you take off the garden and gold glasses, do you think this team belongs in the playoffs in terms of how they are playing right now compared to the other teams? So if I take off my glasses, let's take them off. Do I think FSU belongs in the college football playoff based off in terms of how they are playing right now compared to other top teams? That's a great question. Because I'm going to take what you ask literally. So you're not asking for resume. Because resume, I would say yes. But if you ask me right now, is FSU playing the – Here's what I say. And this is tough. But if you're going to tell me that Michigan belongs, I'm going to tell you FSU belongs. And I know that might be a cop-out answer. But – I don't think let's check some scores. Let's check some scores because I said this all along. There's not a team that like blows my doors off. Like the Georgia, Tennessee. I've been saying it since day one. I picked Florida to beat Tennessee because I knew Tennessee is an overrated bunch. They're not a good football team. I don't care what anybody says. Tennessee is not a good football team. I think Oregon's playing really good football. Michigan beats Maryland by 7. So what is that? I mean, like FSU in Michigan, like who's really – let's have a conversation about that. I'll say this. Because I don't believe in Michigan, I still think FSU's in the top 4. Because I think the 4 best teams in the country right now that are playing football are Georgia. And this is just based off results. This is just based off the results. I want to be clear. This is just based off the result. This isn't based on, but it's Georgia. Oregon, Bama, and FSU. And me and Briley had a good conversation, and I agree. At the end of the day, I agree with Briley. At the end of the day, I think Texas belongs in over Bama because they won the 1-for-1. But Texas keeps having these close games, like even today, the 26-16 over Iowa State. Bama wins 66 to now it's against Chattanooga. Chattanooga's got a winning record. They're 7-4. Bama won 66-10. Take that for whatever it's worth. I think the four best teams that are playing right now are Bama, Georgia, Florida State, and Oregon. Doesn't mean that's my top four, but based on your question, that's how I would frame that. He called him Jagger Maker. I've been telling y'all about Michigan from Jump Street. Michigan's not they're not that team. That's a great argument to have if they played again. But here's the thing, though, CJ, we will never know. And so you have to give Texas the benefit of the doubt because they beat them when they beat them. Point blank, period. We don't know if Bama will beat Texas at this point of the season. It doesn't matter either. Texas beat them when they beat them. So, and with that said, we're about to end this thing. We're about to hit the 3-hour mark. Hey, look, man, this was a very important live stream, believe it or not. We needed this as a fan base. Again, so share this with your fans. Share this with people. If you know somebody that's not subscribed, if you know somebody that is not even aware of me, let them know. Let them know what we got cooking over here because this was important. And y'all see, we hashed out a lot of stuff tonight. There's a lot of different feelings around this team. And with Jordan Travis going down, a lot of people feel like the season's over. Some people feel like the season's just started. I'm with the latter. I think the season's just started. Dang, Jeremiah, my bad. I forgot the stickers. I'm gonna throw them on here right now. But I think the season just started. I'm gonna say that now. I think the season just started. I think when I say that, I am look. If Tate Rodemaker goes out there and completely stinks it up against Florida, I'm gonna come on here and talk about it. I won't mince words. I won't pretend. I'm not gonna tell y'all. I'm not going to try to turn chicken, you know what, into chicken salad. I'm going to tell y'all the real deal. But I am intrigued to see the Tate Rodemaker era get a head start. And I think this conversation was needed. I usually wouldn't give out probably 2 stickers for this type of game. But I think Tate Rodemaker deserves one. I wholeheartedly think Tate Rodemaker deserves a sticker. I mean, to come in that situation and lead FSU the way you did, you deserve it. There you go. This one's Tate's. And then Jerry Jones. I never thought I'd put a sticker on here for Jerry. But again, I think Jerry is the best overall DB on this roster. And I think he shows that week in and week out. Shout out to number 7, Jerry Jones. Back to what I was saying. Um, Tate Rodemaker era starts now, and I'm excited to see it. And there's some people that think the season's over, and again, I'm in this. I think the season may have just started. I think legitimately this season may have just started. I'm interested to see. I think Tate Rodemaker, again, I'm not saying he's better than Jordan Travis, but he can make throws that Trap can't make. And it's going to be very interesting to see how we implement that in just a day. Um, so that's what this stream was all about. That I mean, it's not so much about Northern Alabama. It's about how we move forward from the Jordan Travis era. Jordan Travis era, unfortunately, it sucks to say this. It hurts me to say this. Is over. The era for 13 is over. Get ready for the era. Tate Rodemaker era starts now. And with all that being said, y'all already know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, share. It is your boy Polk over here on H63 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles. All prayers, speedy recovery to Jordan Travis. But we are out here. Go Noles. It is UF Hate Week. Let's get ready to whoop on some slimy ass lizards. I think Tate Rodemaker's got it in him. But let's get ready to whoop up on some lizards, man. Y'all have a good rest of y'all Saturday morning, because we went pretty long here tonight. Y'all have a good rest of y'all Saturday morning. It's your boy Pope, and we are out here. Go Noles. Stay classy.